Hi, welcome to Inventor's Dojo. My name is Henry and I'm an inventor. First of all, I want to welcome you and thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Today we're going to be taking a look at the breaker bar and socket solution that I've talked about in my previous videos. We're going to actually go outside and put it on the car, and I'll explain everything that has happened with it. Also, the solution that I came up with, or one of the solutions to one of the many problems that I've run into, which is this guy, and we'll go into it with more detail a little bit later. So what you have here is, let's say your vehicle is stuck. You have your breaker bar, which is like 14 bucks, and a standard socket for your lug nut. And originally the idea was to just have something like this and place it into the lug nut, and then when the wheel turns, this is going to hit the ground and elevate the car and move it forward. But as I mentioned before, one of the problems was that this part right here actually broke the pavement and left a hole. So that's a problem in my eyes. Also, another problem is that, especially if we're dealing with mud or snow or any kind of slippery things, this can actually slide out and do nothing. You might be able to get it back in place and try it after a few times, but that's not what I'm trying to do here. That's another problem. Another problem is that if this for some reason becomes unaligned, this will come right off. So I need something that will stay in place. Since I want it to stay in place, that's where this comes in. Let's take a moment to talk about this. So here's my problem. Let's say that the lug nut is installed on the wheel and you want to connect your socket to the lug nut, but if something goes wrong, it's very easy for it to come loose. There is just no grip on it whatsoever. And that's where this comes in. Once you lock it in, it doesn't let go of the lug nut unless you release the lock, and then it becomes loose. And that's how I solved that problem. So now, no matter what happens, the socket will stay connected to the lug nut. When you have your breaker bar attached like so, then it will not go anywhere unless you release it. In the real world, or ideally, this is made out of metal. This is just a thing that I 3D printed and made a couple of weeks ago, just so I could show you guys. And the first patent that I have is just about this. It's not about the entire thing. It's just about this. It's the ability to put a quick disconnect on a lug nut. But it extends further than that once I start playing with it. And really and truly, it doesn't have to be this same application that we just talked about. You can actually use this to pretty much put anything on a lug nut. You can do it to put decorations on your wheel. You can use it to, I don't know, any number of things. And that's been one of my struggles, to come up with applications for this thing. What would you use it for? Leave it in the comments. Another problem is that once the wheel starts turning, if this hits the wrong angle as the wheel turns, it will, in essence, loosen the lug nut on a good day. On a very bad day, the car is going backwards and it will actually try to tighten the lug nut even more, eventually breaking the stud or threading the lug nut or damaging the wheel, or many things that could go wrong. But mostly I'm more concerned about the things that I can't think of. The solution that I came up with is that if I add another socket here to attach it to a different hole, then this will not allow the turning of the lug nut or the socket or anything. Everything will stay in place. So that's what I ended up doing. But I still have the problem where this is going to leave holes all over the pavement. if you're on mud or anything, that may be okay, even though you're still going to run into a problem where this is going to go deep into the ground and maybe not do anything. So it's a lot of variables and a lot of problems that I cannot foresee that will cause this whole process to go wrong. So leave in the comments, how would you solve this problem? So I have a question for you. Other than the breaker bar and the socket thing that we did today, what would you attach to your wheel and your lug nut to make sure that it stays there? Leave your answer in the comments. But that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please stay tuned for the next episode. I'll see you next time. Stopping video. Oh, this is not recording. Ah, you mother. And this is gonna suck if I have to redo this whole